Welcome to Relationship Soup. I'm your host, Lisa Hughes. I'm kidding, y'all. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. How y'all doing today? Y'all, this has been a day. All I can do is laugh, right? I hope your Tuesday is off to a wonderful start. I hope y'all had a fantastic weekend. Is y'all year still good? Y'all still having a good year? Is y'all 2026 still good? I hope it is. Well, anyway, thank y'all so much for joining me today. I see your comment already. I appreciate you. Now, y'all know, I appreciate every time y'all join me, whether you're watching us live on Facebook, YouTube, listening to the podcast, or catching the replay. I see you, I love you, and I appreciate you, right? So anyway, thank y'all so much for joining me. I just can't thank y'all enough. Y'all got to forgive me. I'm just so tickled today, y'all. Man, listen. I may take a time and tell y'all about this day, but I ain't going to do it today because we got some stuff that we are going to talk about. I'm telling y'all, got some stuff we're going to get into today. All right. So let me kind of do some housekeeping here because, listen, it is some wonderful things going on. You hear me? It is some wonderful things lined up for 2026, y'all. And of course, y'all already know I have to totally do my housekeeping, right? You know, see, I changed it up for 2026. What do I usually say at this time? Do y'all remember? Y'all remember? All right. Well, anyway. Yeah, I see y'all comments. I really appreciate you. I'm going to bring them on in a minute. All right. So as you know, see, I got the little banner down there, right? Subscribe on YouTube. It is Relationship Soup, period. You got to put the period. If you don't put the period, you're going to be somewhere else. Okay. Now, the website, RelationshipSoup.com, I still got greeting cards. I still got plenty of greeting cards. Listen, for holidays and your everyday occasion, holler at me, right? Holler at RelationshipSoup.com. Now, if you want to join the group, it's Relationship Soup Group. That's our Facebook group where we talk about all kind of stuff in there. So you definitely want to get in there, right? And as far as if you want to follow me, it's RelationshipSoupLLC. TikTok. Listen, TikTok, it's popping. It's still popping, y'all. And I appreciate the love on there. It's just Relationship Soup. And so, yeah, that's that. Oh, and y'all already know. Y'all know what I'm going to say. Hello, me. Dropping February 23rd. Y'all are showing me so much love with Hello Me already. Let me give a shout out to Corey Sino, Chef's Kids, has been promoting this book like he co-wrote it. You hear me? Well, anyway, Hello Me. This is my 100-page affirmation picture book for children. There's positive words. These illustrations are beautiful. Look, I'm going to give y'all a little peek. That was a journal that y'all saw. Look at them illustrations, right? Don't them babies deserve this? Listen, Hello Me is dropping February 23rd. You can get this in the ebook format, hard book. You know, I love a hard book, right? I love a hard book. Or you can get the softback, the paperback, y'all, right? But anyway, I just appreciate all the love that y'all are showing me, all of the support. It's some wonderful things lined up. Now, look, there is a QR code, and I know that it's kind of reversed, right? So I'm just going to point, right? I'm going to point. So hit that QR code if you want to order Hello Me, right? Bless a baby with the power of positive words, because we already know this world gonna tear them babies up. Them beautiful, innocent babies, y'all know whether it's your child, your niece, your nephew, or whatever, this world is gonna tear them up. So plant the positive seeds of words today. Let them say hello me. Let them learn to say hello me early in life. And truly, some of us adults, hey, we need that inner child nurtured anyway, right? Some of us need to learn to say hello me, right? So anyway, hit up that QR code and get your copy today, y'all. If y'all see me kind of looking, it is a ladybug flying around my office, okay? Ain't they supposed to be dead? Am I tripping? Like, this ladybug is doing the food. So if you see me looking away, it ain't that I see dead people or not. It's this ladybug that's getting it. But anyway, so y'all, thank y'all so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I see your comments. So I'm gonna bring a couple on because I really want to get into today's show. I see you, Jay Desiree. Thank you so much for joining me, beautiful. You know, I appreciate you. You don't miss. Every week you on here, and I really, really appreciate you. All right, y'all. So let's see here. What's going on, Miss Woodson? Thank you so much for joining me, beautiful. You know I appreciate you. Lost without you. Listen, wait a minute. Hold on. Can't help myself. How does it feel? All right, hold on, because I know you be coming with the lyrics, and usually I get them because I'm thinking BB and CC Winans. You remember that song, I'm Lost Without You? Is that what you're going with? Is that what you're talking about? Holler at me in the comments. Let me know. All right. So anyway, y'all, now that we got all of that out of the way, let me go ahead and put the link in case you want to hop in this studio with us. Let me go ahead and put this link in the chat. Hold on. Did they change something? Okay, here we go. Boom. So if you want to join us in the studio, can y'all see that comment? There we go. Is it only posting is it on Facebook? Do y'all see it on Facebook? Because I'm only seeing it on YouTube. But anyway, if you want to join me in the studio, it's a couple of us in the studio already. It's enough room for you. Go ahead and hit that link and follow the prompts. Cool? You good? All right, y'all. Oh yeah, okay. Yes, don't get me to sing it. I don't have my little auto tunes, right? But I know what you're talking about. Yes, so now I know it's Robin Thicke. Yeah, that song was jamming. Because I'm like, wait a minute, she talking about BB and CC Winans, because I'm about to get real spiritual. You feel me? We about to get spiritual and catch the spirit. I'm just saying. But anyway, all right, y'all. So let's get into this. Hold on. Let's get into this. All right. So let's get into this episode. This is episode 97, and this is Elisa's Lens. And basically, this is unpacking what did 22 really say. So last week, episode 96, if you remember, I had a guest, 22, aka Clarence Underwood, and he really unpacked some things last episode. He came through and dropped gem after gem after gem. And honestly, we kind of ran out of time, and it was some technical issues. I ain't calling nobody out because we are in Mercury retrograde. Am I lying? We are in Mercury retrograde right now. So look, you got to expect some technical issues, right? So anyway, so we ran into some technical issues, and I really wanted to take this episode and unpack some things because I really believe that there were some really great gems dropped. Now, did y'all see that episode last week? Put yes in the comment if you saw it. I just want to know. Like, I remember my people from last week, but I just want to know if you remember. So if you were here last week and you saw the episode, please drop something in the comment. So anyway, today, it's just us. And I really want to hear your thoughts. I want to know what resonated with you, what challenged you, and even what made you uncomfortable. Because sometimes these conversations, they make you uncomfortable, and that's okay. Because in being uncomfortable, that could contribute to growth, right? That's why I don't mind having some of them hard conversations, even though they be hard. But if I'm open and centered enough, that could equate to growth. Am I lying? I'm just saying. All right, I see your comments, and I'm going to bring them on in a minute. Let me just kind of get through a few things, so we can kind of get into this episode. All right, so anyway, I really want to know what resonated with you last week. Let me know. So, like I said, this conversation, y'all know I don't ever talk at y'all. I'm talking with y'all, right? This is not a lecture. Y'all know I hate the word lecture, and I tell my students that all the time. Like, listen, I don't like the word lecture. I like the word conversation, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a conversation today. So I want you to bring your questions, bring your stories. Y'all with it? Y'all with me? All right. So anyway, now I really want to know, did y'all see the episode last week? If you did, drop it in the chat. All right. So for those that missed it, like I said, Clarence dropped a lot of gems. And if you don't know who Clarence Underwood, aka 22, if you don't know who he is, he's a lifestyle curator, host of Sexual Intercourse podcast, and a creator of this personality and compatibility assessment, chef's kiss. Listen, when I say that he has a gift for reading people, I'm almost like, are you Mr. Cleo? Because I felt like he was reading me. If y'all go back to episode 91, I had to drink him. For real, I was like, don't be selling my secrets, because the way that he read me from that assessment was amazing. It absolutely was. So anyway, I would definitely recommend that assessment, and I'll provide the links and all that stuff. Even in the last episode, he talked about how you could take that assessment and hook up with him or whatever. So anyway, I know y'all get to the point. All right, so basically what I want to do, I want to break down the main points from that show last week, because I feel like there was a few of them. So I'm just going to hit a few because y'all already know it's a Tuesday and y'all know what that means, right? So anyway, all right. So point number one thing that Clarence said was people lie to themselves on assessments. Do y'all agree with that? Have y'all ever taken an assessment before? Did y'all tell the truth or did y'all lie to kick it? Tell the truth. So anyway, 22 said the biggest pattern that he noticed was that people lie to themselves when taking compatibility assessment. Not necessarily intentional lying, but people are projecting this persona, what they think others want to see, instead of showing up authentically, right? Sorry. But anyway, instead of being authentic, right? People are lying to kick it. So it's not where we're looking for what's fitting in our lives. We're actually looking for what we like. Right? Did that make sense? And can anybody identify with that? Do y'all agree with that? Because not only on assessments, but even in relationships, I'm sorry. But anyway, even in relationships, are you really showing up as your authentic self? Or are you showing up? Are you projecting? Are you putting forth this persona, right? Are you putting forth what people think, what you think that person wants to see? Have you ever done that before? Have you ever experienced it? All right. So point number 2, incompatibility means I don't want to. This one hit me, y'all, because now, and again, it's a case by case. So I'm just speaking case by case. You have to, discern what fits for you. Okay. So we just talking. And if you don't agree, holler at me in the comments. Let's talk about it. So anyway, 22 said that when people claim they're incompatible with someone, what they're really saying is, I don't want to do the work. Or they don't want the responsibility. Right? I mean, that's honest. Okay. He said, because if you want something to work, it's going to work. And regardless, another thing that Clarence said, and I'm going to use 22 and Clarence interchangeably. So when you hear me talking about 22 or Clarence, I'm talking about the same person, right? I ain't getting schizo on you. It's really the same person. So what Clarence was really saying in the last episode is that anybody that we're with, there's going to be differences, right? Even if you find someone that likes all the same things as you, there's still going to be differences. The question is, are you willing to navigate those differences? Do you want to? Because if you wanted to, you would, right? Now, I'm not speaking like on, toxic differences or anything like that. And we'll get into that in a minute. Point number 3, partners versus participants. Now, one of the commenters on the show, I think, was that you, Derek? Was that you that said that? Anyway, let me know if it was you. I believe it was. Look, that was whole last week, so you got to forgive me. So one of the commenters on the show said it perfectly. Most people aren't looking for a partner. They're looking for a participant. They want someone that is going to support their dreams, fit into their life without no real accountability or compromise. That's not partnership. That's participation, right? You want to participate, right? Point number 4, we overvalue ourselves. That was point number 4. What y'all think so far? What y'all thinking? So another thing that 22 clarified was it isn't about having self-worth. It's about overvaluing ourselves to the point where we devalue our partners. What does that mean? Like some people say, for example, I'm not cooking for her, or I'm not cooking for him. I'm not buying her this. I'm not buying him this, or whatever, right? We're so focused on protecting ourselves, our value. What we're not considering is what our partner brings to the table or what they truly need from us. Am I lying? What y'all think? Seriously. Have you ever been in a situation, and maybe it was you, and be honest, because we listening, we not judging, right? Have you ever been so focused on protecting you, your walls, your interests, your value, that you do not consider the other person? And maybe it was intentional, maybe it wasn't. Think about that. Point number 5, understanding over communication. Now, this one was deep, y'all. This one was really deep. So basically what 22 was talking about is that communication is important. Can we agree? Communication is important. It is, right? Okay. Whether in business, whether personally, communication is important. But understanding is essential. Truth of the matter is, you can communicate all day long. You can be the most eloquent communicator. You can be the most articulate. You can use $50 words. You could be the etymology queen or king, right? You're using all the right words. However, if there's no understanding, that communication is trash. Am I lying though? Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not beyond being corrected. So if you're not actually comprehending where your partner is coming from, that communication, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. It can actually lead to stonewalling. Have y'all ever experienced stonewalling before? Do y'all know what that is? Because basically, if both people feel unheard, if there's really no progress toward understanding, stonewalling can happen. What's stonewalling? Stonewalling is basically a communication tactic where someone emotionally withdraws. They shut down during the conflict. They ain't gonna talk to you. They giving one word answers, right? They might text you with the K. Y'all ever did that? The K, right? They refuse to engage or cooperate. And that can look like days without talking to you after the conflict. It might be you and it might be them, right? They might not talk to you for days because the conflict and pissed them off, or they don't want to understand. They don't want to comprehend. So it leads to stonewalling. And what does that do to the foundation of trust in a relationship? And honestly, that's where understanding come in, because and we'll get into it, but stonewalling is a very real thing. And although it can look harmless, like, yo, I just ain't gonna participate or whatever, what does that truly do to the foundation of trust in your relationship? What does it do? I'm just saying, holler at me. Number 6, cultivate, don't change. Now, 22 finally said you cannot teach someone to be a better lover, right? By changing them. You cultivate the character they already have. So basically, you can't make an apple tree into an orange tree. I believe that's what he said last week. But you can help that apple tree become the best apple tree possible. And truly, I've always felt that in a relationship, you are a mirror, right? And it depends on the relationship. But if you are mirrors for each other, it is the opportunity to help that person grow, right? So anyway, we'll get into that in a minute. So basically, what 22 said, you work with who they are, not against it. Okay. So I see y'all comments. Let me bring on a few of these comments right quick. Let's see here. Who's in this room with me? Who's in this room? Let's see here. I'm going to need yeah, absolutely. Them hardbacks. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. I seen where someone said that they're new here. RB Jones. Thank you so much for joining me, RB. How are you enjoying the podcast so far? I really appreciate you. Just make sure that you subscribing to the YouTube and to Facebook. Follow me. It's RelationshipSoupLLC. All right, y'all. So anyway, all right. So now before I get into my thoughts, I want to hear from you. Okay. Let me see if I can copy this into the comments. Okay. So which one of these points? Hi, Miss Drea Upshaw. Thank you for joining me, beautiful. I really appreciate you. You new too? Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you, Miss Drea. I really appreciate that. All right, boom. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in the comments, y'all. Look a little, it looks kind of foolish. But anyway, so basically, which one of these points hit home for you? Okay. Number 1, people lie to themselves. All right. Number 2, incompatibility equals I don't want to. Number 3, partners versus participants. Number 4, overvaluing ourselves. Number 5, understanding over communication. And number 6, cultivate, don't change. Do any of those resonate with you? Let me know. All right, so let's go ahead and break these down. All right, and I know that there's a couple of you in the studio. I know that someone wants to get in the room, so we'll work it in there. But anyway, so let's go ahead and break these points down. All right, so let's see here. Okay, so let's look at the first one. I don't want to problem. Okay, so let's look at that. So that was the first one. So I've honestly been thinking about this, y'all. How many times have you heard someone say, or even have I heard someone say, or maybe even I said it myself, we're just not compatible. Okay. And here's the thing, sometimes that's absolutely the truth. It is absolutely the truth. If one person wants kids and the other one doesn't, if one person wants to live in the city and the other one wants to live in the country, if your core values are fundamentally opposed, yes, incompatibility can be a real thing. Okay. But let's be honest, there's a flip side to that. How often are we using incompatibility as a catch-all excuse for, I don't feel like navigating our differences, or I don't want the responsibility? Can we be honest? How many of y'all willing to be honest about that? Right? I mean, it's a very real thing, and be real. We listening, we not judging, y'all. Let's grow together through this. I'm just saying, right? I think we live in a culture now where we want everything to be easy. We are in a microwave society. Everything needs to be easy. And actually, as you get more timeless in life and age, as you get more timeless, you really want things to be easy because, more than likely, life done kicked your butt a couple times. Am I lying? You done been through some relationships. You done been through some things, right? And depending on where your life is, you like, yo, I need this relationship to be easy. I need something to work, right? So, we want instant chemistry, instant connection, instant compatibility. We want someone who thinks like us, who moves like us, who likes what we like. But in real partnership, it isn't about finding someone identical to you. It's about finding someone whose differences complement yours. And sometimes that might take more reflection or more, maybe a little more work, right? For you to actually assess that, right? 22 says something really beautiful. Your differences are what make you most compatible. And again, it's a case by case, right? Think about it. If you're like a go-getter type, right? You out here, you getting it, right? You getting the bag, all of that. You might need a partner who's nurturing and supportive at home, okay? If you're both trying to lead all the time, who's following, right? Where's the balance? If you're both passive, who's making decisions, right? The differences aren't the problem. Now, the problem is when we're not willing to do the work of understanding each other, communicating about those differences, and finding a way to make it work. Now, let's be clear, because don't come for me, okay? I'm not talking about abuse. I'm not talking about disrespect or toxicity. I ain't talking about them things. So don't come for me on that, right? I'm talking about normal, everyday differences that come up in any relationship, that can't come up in relationships, okay? So let me ask you this and be honest. Have you ever walked away from someone and later realized there really wasn't incompatibility? You just ain't want to do the work. And if that's so, drop a yes in the chat. And again, we're not judging. We're all learning here. We're not judging. We're just learning, right? Because the truth of the matter is, with all these different podcasts, with all these different conversations, at the core, personally, I feel that some of us are truly doing the best that we can. We are navigating this life experience the best that we can with the stuff that we've been given, with our experiences included, right? I'm just saying, right? Let's look into this partner versus participants because this one really hit different, y'all. This one really hit. When the commenter said that most people aren't looking for a partner, they're looking for a participant, I truly felt that in my soul. That hit me. Now, let me break down the differences. A participant goes along with what you want, fits into your life plan, supports your dreams without question, without no input. It's about you, accepts you as you are, but it's not reciprocal. It's there for your benefit, right? Okay. So a partner co-creates a life with you. Okay. They build with you. Both people have their dreams and goals, but each matters as much as the other, right? challenges you when necessary, expects mutual respect, support, and growth, and is there for shared success. Shared, right? Do y'all see the difference? Are y'all still with me? I know I'm talking here. I'm gonna bring y'all comments on it, man. Y'all still with me? But anyway, so a lot of us, if we're being honest, we have checklists. How many of y'all got checklists out there? All right, this little hair is bothering me, man. But anyway, so listen, how many of y'all have checklists out there? We want someone who what? And 22 kind of talked about this. Looks a certain way, makes a certain amount of money, has a certain body type, fits into our friend group, right? Supports our career. And this one is deep, y'all. Think about this and be honest with yourself. Doesn't require too much from us. Am I lying? Have y'all ever felt that way? Or do y'all feel that way now? That's very real. And again, no judgment. That just might be where you are. But where's the part about what your partner needs? What do they need? What do they want? What do they bring to the table? And here's the thing, it goes both ways. Men do this, women do this. We all are capable of being so focused on our own needs and desires that we forget that we're supposed to be building something. Am I lying? How often have you got caught in the me? Maybe you saying hello me too much. Maybe it's hello me. Am I lying? But what about the other person? Are you thinking about them? Are you thinking about their needs? Are you thinking about taking care of their soul? Are you thinking about that? Or is it about you? So, sometimes we can get so caught up that we forget that we're supposed to be building something with another whole human being, right? 22 talked about how people are chasing aesthetics and benefits instead of building real partnerships. And I see this all the time, right? I need him to look like this. And you know what? I say you should have what you want. You should absolutely have what you want, right? But what about, are we both willing to grow? Do y'all think about that? Are y'all so caught up, or have you ever been so caught up in the surface things? Are we both willing to grow? Do we bring out the best in each other, right? So those are some things to think about. Those questions that actually matter those are the questions that actually matter for the long term, right? It's cute. Like if you 6 feet and fine and chocolate, oh, that's beautiful or whatever, right? Those things are great, but can we grow? Are we capable of taking care of each other's souls? Is that a thing, right? All right, so real talk, have you ever been a participant in someone else's life or an actual partner? Now I'm asking y'all, have y'all ever been a participant instead of an actual partner, or have you treated someone like a participant instead of a partner? That's very real, right? Let me go and drop that in the chat. And I'm gonna get to y'all comments. I know I'm taking a little longer than normal, but I definitely want to get to these points. So I'm gonna bring this, I'm gonna put this in the chat. And it's not posting to Facebook. Facebook, I'm sorry, y'all, I don't know what's going on. But my question is, real talk, have you ever been a participant in someone else's life instead of an actual partner? Or have you treated someone like a participant instead of a partner? Have you done that? Have you? All right, so this next one. All right, so anyway, communication, this communication thing. 22, he flipped the script. And again, remember, he said that understanding matters more than communication, right? And so again, like I said, you can talk all day long, right? I've been guilty of this. Just talking, right? True comprehension. So everything I said, it didn't even mean anything because there was no true understanding, right? You can use all the I feel statements in the world. You can use all the listening techniques in the world. But if there's no true understanding of where your partner is coming from, all that communication is just noise. It's just noise, right? So like, for example, so say, you tell your boo, we need to keep the apartment cleaner, right? I mean, they all agree, right? You're communicating, but do you understand what clean means, right? Do you actually understand where your partner is coming from? It's like, okay, we all in agreement, but is there truly an understanding, right? Or are we in a position where we're forcing the partner to just fill it in, to let their brains fill it in? Happens, right? So to clean for you might mean, hey, no moldy food in the fridge and vacuuming once a week. Whereas to the other person, they want it bleached down. If the crib don't smell like bleach, then it's not clean. So you're both saying keep it clean, but you mean different things. So you can talk about it all you want to, but until you understand what each other's standards are, you're going to keep being frustrated. That's going to be the thing that keeps coming up. The clean apartment. Why we keep talking about the clean apartments? Because we're not understanding each other. If there is no understanding, certain conversations are going to repeat themselves. It just is what it is, right? So if there's not a true understanding, maybe that's the issue. I'm just saying. I don't claim to be no specialist. I'm just saying, think about that. All right. So let's see here. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring y'all comments on here in a minute. 22, he went on to talk about etymology, understanding the root meanings of words. Words like respect, love, support, commitment. We use them all the time, but they can mean vastly different things to different people based on their experiences, their upbringing, their past relationships, their culture. So that's why context clues matter. This is why asking follow-up questions matter. This is why you cannot assume you know what someone means. There's a reason why assume is spelled like it is. When your partner says they need space, okay, what does that mean? Do they mean they need to break up? Or do they need an hour alone to decompress? And you won't know unless there is understanding. And you won't know if your partner doesn't want to communicate that, right? If the stonewalling is happening, there's going to be no understanding, right? Because just like it takes two to communicate, a sender and a receiver, to get understanding, it takes the same thing. It takes two participants, right? So you not only should you be asking the questions, if you're the one that's the questions are being asked to, you got to communicate so that you can get understanding. 22 also talked about the tonality in relationships. He compared it to music. I think he was talking about music, man, because he goes by tonality. I think his label's called Tonality Records. So tonality is just basically where all instruments come together to create something beautiful, right? Each person gets their time to shine, but the magic is how it is in how they harmonize together. Sit on that for a minute, right? And harmony only happens when you are truly in tune with each other, when you understand each other's rhythms, needs, and communication styles, right? Okay. So here's what I want you to think about. In your current or past relationships, how much time have you truly spent trying to understand your partner versus trying to get them to hear you? Because we all want to be heard. Well, that's an overstatement. Some of us want to be heard. I want to be heard and I want to be understood. I'm talking about me. I want to be understood. Okay. Because like I said, communication is a two-way street, but understanding requires you to step into someone else's world to see things from their perspective. How often do y'all do that? Do y'all do that? How often do you step into someone else's world to see things from their perspectives? Put on their shoes. Y'all be putting on other people's shoes, right? All right. So last point, y'all know y'all like, dang, no, but for real, I'm gonna get through this. So the last thing, so y'all cannot tell y'all how many times have y'all been the fixer? Are there any fixers in the chat are listening tonight? They see all the potential in the world. Oh, if they could just dress better, if they could just be more social, if they would just get a better job, if they would just stop doing one thing. We all think that we can mold. Well, some of us think that we can mold people into our ideal partner. But like 22 said, he said it so beautifully. It was a chef's kiss. You can't turn an apple tree into an orange tree. You work with what's there. Now, does that mean that you accept toxic behavior? Absolutely not. Don't do that. Don't accept any abuse. Don't accept any toxic behavior. Does that mean that you encourage growth? That you don't encourage growth? No, encourage growth. But the difference between helping someone to grow and to become a better version of themselves and trying to change them is completely different, right? if your person is naturally introverted, right? Some of us, we date introverts. Some of us are introverted. You don't try to make them the life of the party. You appreciate the depth and thoughtfulness of what they bring. You create a space for them to recharge. You honor who they are. Honor who they are. That's who they are. Now, on the flip side, if your partner is the life of the party and you're a planner, you don't try to make them rigid. Don't do that. You find balance where their spontaneity brings life and fun into your life, and and planning. Like you can find the balance with that, right? You basically, what a sister trying to say is, you cultivate the best version of who they already are. You don't uproot them and plant something different, right? All right, y'all. So let me go ahead and bring y'all comments right here before I wrap this thing up. All right. And I see that I have somebody in the studio, a few people in the studio. Let me know if you want to get in this here studio. Let me see y'all comments. Let's see here. All right. So let's see. So Derek says, happy Tuesday, supers. No singing without auto. Yeah, no, listen, I ain't doing it. And you already know who I'm trying to sound like. If hey, listen, I ain't doing it. RB, like I said, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you. Derek, I got the auto tune. Oh yeah, absolutely. Kelly, listen. Hey, that's what I'm just saying. That's what I'm with. Or they just really don't. That's the truth. That's the absolute truth. This is very real. Coach Boyd, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Or they just don't like you that much. That's a very real thing, because when a person likes you, when a person likes something or loves something, they're going to take care of what it is they like and love. They're going to show the consistency. They're going to show the effort, but if not, they might not really like you that much. And that's just real. And people need to be more straight up and forthcoming with that. If you don't really like that person, tell them. Stop playing. Right? Life is too short. Do y'all know how much time we waste when people could just be honest? And if you just honest with yourself, right? If you're not feeling a person, let them know. Life is too short. Move out the way so they can, be with who they need to be with and get on their journey and path of where they need to be. Because at that point, if you know that you're not really feeling a person, if you know that you're not going to want to put in the effort, then basically you've taken up space, right? You are in a distraction in their journey. So let's see here. It has been a problem for ages. People think fake is real and real and fake is fake these days. So absolutely. Absolutely. Too many people won't be honest with themselves. Absolutely. I just said that. It's just a lot of line to kick it. I don't know how else to even put it. Like, whether it's intentional, whether it's just not, taking time with self and doing the work, it just is what it is. I see you, Coach Boyd. I don't know, but I say stuff like that. People acting versus actually being. Absolutely. It's a lot of thespians out here. It's a lot of thespians acting like hell, right? It's like Madonna said, take a bow, right? You didn't did a whole act, right? So go and take your bow. Straight up. Acting, just out here acting. I see you, Cena. Thank you so much, Corey. And I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. You are absolutely an earth angel. I appreciate all the love that you have shown. Hello, me. I appreciate all the promotion that you've done as well. All right, I see. What's that? Shay one Shape Man. Forgive me. Okay, I see you. I see you with the comments. Okay, I see you with the flags. Yes, Miss Drea, thank you again. I appreciate you for joining me. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Okay. So Pyru 77. Ooh, 777. I've been seeing that number a few times today. Yeah. So number 2, that was the one that did it for you. Oh, thank you so much for joining me, Anna. I really appreciate you. Now, I don't know if you sent some stars or not, because I don't see a comment now. Y'all, sometimes on these platforms, in StreamYard, they don't show me all your comments. And right now, I'm only seeing certain comments from Facebook. So if I don't bring it on, I'm really not being funny style. Like, it just really be. I cannot. Gary, Wood. No, I'm not bringing that on. You need to get some help with that. You need to get some Mylanta or something for real. That's not too good. All right. All right. So, Tonality, I see that you're in the studio. Do you want to come on for a quick second? All right. Coming to the stage.
Hey, how we doing tonight? How we doing tonight?
I'm
Least
happy. How are you?
doing well, Music Man in the building, y'all. How y'all doing, Soup? How y'all doing? How you doing on the Tuesday?
On
Hey,
a Tuesday.
it's glad to be here. Another Tuesday. God has blessed me with, so we here. Thank you for having me, as usual.
Absolutely. And I appreciate whenever you want to come on. So what you think? What you think so far? I know you're gonna keep it real with me.
I'm gonna keep it a buck, not a buck, a buck. So, I'm gonna say like Darius Love Hall said, and then Love Jones. When it comes to love relationships, whether it be platonic, romantic, and people fall out of the rhythm of the relationship, and we're gonna get back to that because that actually follows tonality. But what they really are saying is that they exhausted the possibility. So it's like you got to do the work. You said it several times, and what people are afraid to do is have those hard conversations because love doesn't look like the romantic pictures you see in the movies and with Luther Vandross that sings about. We love these songs. I'm a 90s R&B lover, but in reality is that it doesn't always look like that. We have those moments, right? The warm fuzzies and things like that, but real love starts after the hard conversations, right? And so that's when you get to the part past the exhausting of possibilities because people get tired and it's like you were saying, it's like, oh, I told them that 50, 11 times, they not listening to me, but they heard you and they didn't understand, but also more importantly, they didn't understand what you're trying to say to them, right? Because once you get the connection to the head, it also has to connect to the heart and you have to be a willingness to do it because information without application will destroy the relationship and you destroy manifestation within that relationship, right? So you have to make sure that you are both equally yoked because a lot of people talk about compatibility. Equally yoked does not look like twin flames. A lot of people talk about that, but reality is the balance of each other. How are you filling those gaps? Because like you were saying, one person might be an extrovert, other one might be an introvert. But the reality is it doesn't mean that they're not equally yoked. A lot of people are looking for identical twins or twin flames. The reality is that we need people that spiritually grow us and develop us in areas. You might be big into health and I might be a slouch, but you can help me in those areas that motivate and encourage me because that's what God has blessed you with. And that is truly to me a divine connection when people can balance and show you and teach you new things.
Absolutely. And one thing, I believe in divine messages and stuff like that. And I was actually up on, it was Instagram. And then like I usually end my night on YouTube because I'm probably going to listen to some video that's going to go for 8 hours of prayers or affirmations or positive sound or whatever. And the messages that I saw on both of those platforms is, I'm just paraphrasing, okay, that love does not necessarily look like what you think it does.
Absolutely.
And this person went on to break down, some things that, might not look like, what love should look like, but it's very important for it to occur so that you could even get to a long-term love. Because, even like we talked about in the past, Reese, it was how movies and, different things like, mold what we think love should look like.
Absolutely.
And then we have, the 20-year-old selves, the, 15-year-old selves, you know what I'm saying?
The puppy love.
With your parents. And then some of them stank past relationships that you thought was love and them family members or whatever that you didn't glorify, right? Because you didn't have time to get over it. You actually look at it like that is what love is supposed to look like. So it's all these different elements that's really, that can really taint.
Yes.
Again, I'm not knocking nobody's past. Y'all have heard me say this on podcasts and, even in personal conversations. If you, are, and, if you're just one of the people I talk to, more than likely we've had that conversation. The truth of the matter is, those references, they should be references,
of course,
not necessarily a guidepost for what love looks like at this point in your life. Because Bro, like love for me, even if I'm thinking about my first, sweetheart, whatever. Now, don't
Absolutely.
get me wrong. For that time, that's what love looked like. That's
Yes.
absolutely what it looks like because where I was at that time at 22, right? I'm not there at this timeless stage. So
Yes.
for me to think that love should look like every single relationship that I had before, did I really grow?
And that's it, literally.
And is it fair? Is it absolutely fair to the current person or the future person if you're holding on to those things, right? And to actually allow that to define what love looks like. And you know what? Again, listening, not judging. It's just kind of bringing it to the forefront, right? And it could just be it could be a number of things. It might not really be love, and that's okay too.
Yes.
It's also worth considering in certain situations, like, am I contaminating what love looks like?
Mm-hmm.
What am I using as my markers as for what love should look like?
Absolutely. And even more, we go further with that. A lot of people, the list, that we have, male and female, a lot of people aren't looking to fall in love. A lot of people are looking to fall in lust. And so, and lust doesn't look always sexual either. It's all about just these lists of things that I'm attracted to. I need these things. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have your non-negotiables, but
Mhm.
oftentimes, people fall in love with the aesthetics. People fall in love with the money. People fall in love with how they make me feel, the warm fuzzies. And then once those things are gone, what do you have left? If you don't have that genuine connection and that hard connection, and I'm gonna just put it where I'm at. Judge me if you want to, but hey, this between me and God. If you're not divinely connected with God and God centered,
Mhm.
it's gonna crash and burn every time.
Absolutely.
It's gonna crash and burn.
I think that's very important. And that's part of those core values and stuff that you need to think about because I think that people should have their own belief systems. They move how they want to move. It's just that I know that I'm not compatible. I'm not compatible with the atheist. I don't have nothing against your belief system. I don't care what but it's being honest about that as well. And there's some people, they figured out, like you have some people that are Christian, some people that are, Muslim, that they get together and it works, right? So you have to assess what that looks like for you. And we got a couple comments. So let's see here.
Yeah.
Derek says, I treat people the way I want to be treated. I am royalty. A lot of people must not want to be treated well, peasants. Absolutely. And I think that's really important. You should treat people like you want to be treated. You should treat people how you would want somebody. Sorry, these comments. But anyway, you should treat people like you would want somebody. And if you're blessed to have children, how you want your children to be treated. Because how you move is just a matter of time. Right. And I say that with truth because I'm just saying that from what I've seen with my own two eyes. Yeah. Right. How y'all moving, how some of y'all moving out here with these men and women, y'all stink. And don't feel away when that stuff come back to your baby. Be like, man, I don't understand. No. Karma's only a B if you are, and it's gonna come back for your seeds. Yeah. I'm just saying. So, like I'm not saying that you should tiptoe, walk on eggshells or whatever. Be your authentic self. Treat people like you want to be treated. Would you want somebody talking to your daughter like that? Would you want somebody stringing your daughter along like that? Would you want somebody doing your son like that? Would you?
Yeah, that's true.
That should be sobering. You know what I mean? Not only, ultimately yourself, right? But how you treat people is going to come back on you and or your seeds. It just is what it is.
Yeah. You reap what you sow, you plant seeds. You can't expect apples, if you plant orange seeds. So, it literally is a reflection of you. I believe there's grace and forgiveness, but yeah, absolutely. How you move will manifest itself in your future. So, you got to be careful what kind of seeds you're planting out there. And another thing, we talked about tonality, right? And I believe that's a big important in relationships, right? Whether it be, platonic, romantic, tonality is music and harmony, right? So like tonality itself, like if something's out of key, it's out of tonality. Being in harmonic, being on pitch, on key, that's tonality. So I was it was very important that I name my label that, and I believe that's, how relationships should move and navigate is that you're in harmony. It doesn't mean that, again, that you're a mirror. But again, a key of C and B, those might be incompatible, but a C and an F, if you put it in sharps and there's sharps and flats, that I think of that as like somebody who's being like, who's very outgoing, and then somebody else might be very, introverted, like I say. But the reality is that you have to find a rhythm. Everything in life has a rhythm. It's a heartbeat. So, again, when relationships die, whether they be platonic or romantic or whatever the case may be, is that you let the heartbeat die. You stop the rhythm, and we have to find our rhythm. Like the movie Drumline says, one band, one sound. And that's what relationships are. There's a rhythm to it. And you can feel the rhythm when the rhythm is off. You feel the rhythm when it's on. So, we just have to get back to the rhythm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, I am by no means promoting with my messages. I'm never promoting struggle love, right? Because for me, struggle love falls along those lines of abuse. It falls along the lines of toxicity. It falls into those categories for me. So, I'm never promoting struggle love, right? And, when you hear the word work, sometimes that can have a negative association as well. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do there's different levels of work, even if, you know what I'm saying? So, it shouldn't necessarily always be looked at as a negative thing to put forth the effort and work. Yes. You know what I mean? So that's all I got with that. And we have a couple more comments. Let's see here. So Derek says, I think compatibility starts with intention. Whitney and Bobby were tumultuous, but I believe they really loved each other. The industry interfered. I can see that.
Yeah, I think so,
absolutely. Right, Music Man. Still confused love and lust, lacking discernment. Hey, Malik, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. When you're young, you look for what you want. When you're older, you look for what you need. And, somebody has said something to me, like, it's not necessarily about what you want. It's about what you need. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, and I can see that as well.
And that comes with honesty with self too.
That absolutely comes with honesty with self. I think to a degree, you should have some things that you want, right? Mm-hmm. If you, there's certain things that you should have, that if you want it, you should have it, right?
Absolutely.
So like I said, you have to be honest with self. And I don't mean that even if you're getting what you need, that does not necessarily mean like you're settling.
Oh, absolutely. It doesn't negate the other. Both things can be true. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, and don't come from me in the comments, but it's that old school thought of like 80-20, right? You can have, a lot of people leave the 80 for the 20 because it's like, I got to have all of it. I got to have it all. They got to be fine. They got to be 6 feet, 6 figures, she got to be fine. She got to be this, so it's all those things that we have, again, back to the list, when the reality is that we have to pick our maybe top 5 negotiables. I mean, hey, if she got to be fine, hey, whatever, if that's your thing, you should also be able to attract that. I believe that you attract what you are and you attract what you've healed from. So you can't ask for something that, and again, don't come from me in the comments, that you may not qualify for. So you can work and build to that. You can be like, hey, I want somebody, blah, 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 she's this, that. But hey, you're sitting on somebody's couch and it's not coming from nobody. You might be like, hey, I want a blah, 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 such and such man, but you still, doing your thing. So it's like you got to literally put yourself in a space to receive the things that you want and pray for and hope for. So you got to go to where, you got to meet yourself to what you are asking for. Otherwise you can't just a hope and a wish. Faith without works is dead. So you want it, you got to put the work in. You got to be at the places where that thing is going to manifest itself.
Absolutely. Derek said, shout out to Tonality, the records and the concept. Absolutely. All right. So you see what time it is. It's getting close. So
I'm Tuesday.
Take you on a Tuesday. You already know.
I know what time it is. You
already know. Look, I'm
before I get out here, I'm gonna plug you too. I told you I'm getting 5011 those things though, those books though. So support my girl Lisa. Really, really great positive affirmations. We've had a lot of conversations about positivity. Go get that book because there's so much mess out there. Kids spending time on TikTok, all the negativity. Get the whole of me. Like I said, I'm getting 5011 in them things. Maybe like 50 and 11 half, but I'm gonna get them things. So support the book. It's a dope book. It's a dope concept because in this world with all the negativity, we need some light. So Lisa's definitely spreading love and light in this book. So shout out to Lisa. I love it. Can't wait to get my hands on the book.
Absolutely. And, let me know when you get them, because, I'll sign them for you if that's what you want.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Boom. So you heard it here. So let's see here. I tell people 7 out of 10 is passing in a person and in math. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. All right, y'all. So let's see here. I just want to say thank you all for your comments tonight, right? And we're going to get out of here because y'all already know on this Tuesday, y'all already know where I'm at. So, one thing, again, this is a case by case, and you just have to be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. And if you have a partner, be honest with your partner as well, right? And one thing I think is really important to do is, think about what it is that you want. What do you want? Right? Like I have 5011 journals, right? And I write a lot of different things, right? Ask yourself those hard questions. What do I actually need in a partner? What am I willing to give? Right? What are my non-negotiable? What am I pretending doesn't matter but actually does? Right? So those are, be honest with yourself. That's really, really important. So anyway, Relationship Soup family, I appreciate y'all so much for joining today. Thank you so much for showing up, your comments. Thank you for all the love with Hello Me. I hope that this show, just like with any show, would just, prompt you to look a little deeper if necessary. And if it doesn't, then that just meant that message wasn't for you, and that's okay. Right? But look a little bit deeper. And, I just hope that you all are able to take away that what you want is absolutely possible. What you need is absolutely possible. But it requires for you to show up. You need to be authentic, be willing to do the work, and actually want to do the work, right? You have to want to. And if you don't want to, that's honest, and you should have it that way, right? But be honest about it. Not just the idea of it, not just the benefits, but be willing to navigate the hard parts. Understand your partner, cultivate what's there, and be a true partner and not a participant. Ask again those questions. Are you showing up? Right? Or am I projecting a persona? When I say I'm incompatible with someone, is that really true? Or do I just not want to do the work? Or do you just not like them? Because the truth of the matter is sometimes you just don't like people, and that's okay. But let them know that you don't like them, right? Just so that there can be an understanding, and you can disperse or do whatever it is that you need to do, but just be honest. Stop lying to kick it. Am I trying to understand my partner or just waiting for my turn to talk? Am I trying to change my partner or cultivate who they really are? Those are the hard questions, but it's true. It just is. Now, y'all know I'm not going to wrap up this show without an affirmation. All right, this one's kind of long. All right, but I'm all about the power of words. So I'm going to go ahead and share it. I don't know if it's going to all post in the chat. Let me see. All right. So anyway, this affirmation for this week is I'm divinely guided in love. I do not seek to change or control, but to cultivate and appreciate. I release all false ideas of what love should look like and make the way for the perfect plan of love to unfold in my life. I am whole, I am worthy, and I am ready for true partnership. I attract what I am, and I am love, and so it is. All right. All right, y'all. So anyway, thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. Y'all know I really appreciate you. The QR code is still there for Hello Me, so make sure that you hit that up, right? Let me go ahead and do my housekeeping as we get out of here. On YouTube, it's Relationship Soup, period. Hit the website for greeting cards. It's RelationshipSoup.com. If you want to join the forum, it's RelationshipSoupGroup. If you want to follow me, it's RelationshipSoupLLC. And of course, on TikTok, it's RelationshipSoup, right? So hit us up on TikTok. We would definitely appreciate that. Make sure I'm not missing any comments as I am about to end this show. I don't think I'm missing anything. Am I missing any of y'all comments? Let me know now, or forever hold your peace. Okay, I don't see anything. So remember, y'all, it always starts with you. Look at self and move from there. I love you all. I love all y'all, right? And until we meet next time, peace.